Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I start off by asking you? You're here to sell your movie.
We are here to tell the people about it.
Well, I want you to each tell me what this film is about and why they should see it, but I want a different answer from each of you.
All right, well, I'll open the batting. So what I like about this film, and I think the reason why people should go and watch it, it sends a great message. Look, I've loved India. I've always enjoyed going there since 1994. What this film is, it's an Australian film, we say, with Indian flavour. It covers a lot of different things that happen in everyday life, everyday society. It proves that in this movie that love has no boundaries. Doesn't matter the skin colour, eye colour, hair colour, if you're green, blue, black or white. You can't help who you fall in love with. And we have a lot of fun with that. We sort of play around that a fair bit. And my character, Will, falls in love with this Indian woman, and we go down this path, this journey, with a lot of funny consequences and, dealing with the Indian community.
Well, I think the audience should go and watch this film to get a lot of laughs because it's a film full of heart with a bit of spice. They get to see an Indian Aussie family living probably next door to them. They get to hear about Australian stuff, which they don't get to hear. And they give, through this film, wonderful input to Australian film industry because it's an Australian film. It talks about diversity in 2015. It redefines Australian story. And most importantly, it puts our streets on the screen.
You really have serious intentions with this film, even though it's a comedy, don't you?
I do, Jim. And one of the reasons is that I always say this film is two stories. One which you see on screen, and one is our attempt as a group of Australians to put all those things which you and I and other Australian film professionals have been debating for years. Private investment in our industry, upbeat Australian stories, a global audience, and most importantly, diversity on screen and behind the screen. That's the reality. We have to go in the direction if we have to make Australian film industry self-sustainable. And those were the ideas. So we said, rather than debating about them over many bottles of red wine, let's execute them. And that's what we have tried to do.
And Brett, what do you think about the film's value as a cross-cultural work? As a film that actually crosses cultures and says love actually does bind us, however different we may think we are.
Well, exactly, and I think Anu hit the nail on the head saying that this could be the Indian-Australian family living right next door. But it's also not about Indians as well, or just Australians. We've had a lot of Greek people, come to all the premieres in Sydney and up in Brisbane. We saw last night there was Italians there. There were people from all different cultures and background and races saying that I can see that's what my parents are like. I've had to go through this. My sister married an Australian guy, or my brother wanted to marry an Italian girl, and they've got all these different issues within the family. But we've somehow got to find a way to to actually make it work.
Now, I'm going to be very frank with you. I'm not a fan of this film. I thought it was too long. I thought it was clumsy. I did think it was very funny. But that doesn't matter, does it? You didn't make this film for critics.
No, I mean, it matters in the sense that your views will help us for the next one. This is not our last film. But yes, there are many decisions I took as a filmmaker while I'm selling the film. I'm not telling people as a film professional what I think about the film. And look, this question was asked, are you happy with this film? Are you satisfied with the film? And I ignored all those questions and came up with the answer, which Brett also kind of agrees. Whatever the content and form of the film, we are proud of what we have done in the film and through the film. And yes, we could be, I wanted to cut, you're spot on, mate. I wanted to cut 7 minutes of the first half of the film because I believe first half of the film, has got one joke too many. And then I got vetoed out, especially by all my non-Indian Australian friends who said, no, don't do that. We want to hear more about the Indian thing. And so yes, I agree with you to a certain extent, and that's what I love, especially talking to professionals like you, that we don't just get the polite audience answers, and that helps us in the journey. But yes, it is still a film which is getting packed houses. We took a choice, and this is inside information for you. When the first cut of the film came out, it was 2 hours and 37 minutes. And my editor, Marcus Darcy, who is Oscar-nominated editor, said, "Man, I know as a director, as an Aussie filmmaker, you want to go to festivals and you want to do all the wonderful things. And I had done some amazing stuff with the dream sequences." He said, "But can I tell you that this film has got so much frothy popcorn humor, which we rarely get. And it's got all that cross-cultural comedy. So you'll be stupid, Anu, if you decided to go the festival route and not go the popular route, without demeaning the creativity of the film." So we cut it down to 106 minutes, and bringing out all the elements of Indian Aussies and Australians. Some of stuff which only I could do without being politically incorrect, like Indians' infatuation with fair color, Indians' infatuation with doctors. So it is out there, and it is something which we are proud of.
And Brett, you are a very positive sort of person, and this film is intended to have a positive cultural impact.
Yep.
How would you gauge the impact that you want this film to have?
Well, look, I appreciate your comments, Jim, and the thing that I've learned in sport is that you can't please everybody, and we're not out to do that. You know, we're out to make a film. I had an absolute ball doing it. You know, we gave it our best shot. We're really, really happy with the product. The feedback that we're getting on a general whole is that people walk out with a smile on their face. So if we can have fun doing the movie and people can walk out with a smile on their face going that they enjoyed the film, that's great. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say that they don't like the way I play cricket. Doesn't sort of make me go on the back foot and go, well, I'm not going to play cricket ever again, because we know in this day in life, you can't please everybody. You can't, you know, somebody mightn't like an outswing bowler. You know, some person might like a person to bring the ball back in, to use a cricket term. But, yeah, look, we're really pleased with it, and I would love to do some more stuff.
We might be at a point in history here, because this film's going to get a big release in India, is it not?
Well, India is kind of not our direct target market. I hope it gets released there. We've got a lot of interest thanks to Binga here. And there is a growing multiplex audience in India who are looking at such sensible films, you know, because this is in the genre of big fat Greek wedding.
But come on, Brett Lee is a legend in India.
Anu's being very polite here. Look, yes, it will go to India 100%. It's an Australian film. It's got the Indian background, Indian culture, but the Indian people will get it as well. You know, through social media, it's been going crazy. When's the film coming to India? But what we didn't want to do, Jim, was to put it out straight away. We want to test the market here in Australia. We want people to enjoy it here on home soil, because it's an Aussie film, because we're Australians and we're going on this journey ourselves. But it will definitely go to India, hopefully after Christmas. I don't know the time frame, and that's obviously up to him. But yeah, we'll definitely wait and see.
Because you are huge in India. You are a superstar in India. And if this film succeeds in India, this might open the door to yet more Indian-Australian film co-productions if it hits big.
Absolutely. And Indian-Australian film links go back to 1930s, when we had the blue-eyed blonde from Perth becoming Hunterwali, and since 98. I mean, this is the other part of my team does servicing for Bollywood films. And this is, 242nd project we are doing. There are about 200 Bollywood films which are shot here. So absolutely, it's very important. I mean, someone tweeted the other day, I think it was Lisa Sin, the federal senator from Hobart, and she said, this is amazing for Indo-Australian links, because for Australians, it tells you about an Indian family next door. And for Indians, it tells you how inclusive Australian society is getting.
And that kind of is very timely, given that it's a pretty ugly world out there right now, is it not?
Well, especially the last month or so, like, I'm shocked with what's happening around the world, and we've seen it progressively get worse. But like with everything that you open up the front page of the paper, you turn on the news, you put the radio on in your car, and the first thing you hear is about someone's done something to, there's been a shooting or there's been stabbing or whatever. So, it's not like we sweep it under the carpet. We've obviously got to address these issues, but that's why we wanted to make it a film that people aren't. There's no guns in the movie, and it's not about that. You don't have to always see crime and to see abuse, all that type of thing with a person. So I think the feedback we're getting it's refreshingly different and nice for a change. Not to see it's not a typical I wanted personally to tackle the villain into the ocean, but I wasn't allowed.
I mean, yeah, it's got no swear words, it's got no sex, it's got a lovely love scene, and it's got no guns and no blood. So you're right, the world is ugly out there, and all we can do, I always believe humor and tongue-in-cheek is a lovely genre to deal with issues, and that's what we try to do in this film.
Now, Brett, you have really exposed yourself here.
Pardon the pun.
Yes, indeed. You are a legendary cricketer, or on the verge of becoming one at least, but your legacy is formidable. You have now moved into a realm where that pretty much counts for nothing.
Absolutely.
You must be... I'm very keen to know how you feel. At the moment, you must be feeling very vulnerable.
Well, look, I appreciate your kind words, Jim. I don't look at myself as a legendary or on the verge of being a legendary cricketer. I certainly can't be on the verge now as I'm retired. Look, I've played my cricket as hard and as fair as I possibly can. I think that I got everything out of my body that I could. I used my talent that I was given to the best of my ability. But you're right, that counts for nothing when you go into a completely different line of work. I've always said in life that cricket's been a huge part of my life. It's not my life. I don't watch a lot of sport. I love watching film. I love music. I love fashion. So there's a lot of things about me that probably people don't realise, but you're going into a whole new game here, and you are exposed. You are getting a whole different level. You know, I'm chatting now to a film buff. I'm not chatting to a sports journalist out of Sydney. So it's completely different. You are exposed, and I'm prepared to, to take it on.
And how did you find the experience of being a lead actor in a film for the first time with no background?
Well, the thing was when, I've known Anu for 10 years and we'd spoken about it. I saw the script, the Aussie film, with some beautiful messages. The first thing I said is that, how do you know that I can act? You know, you're putting his reputation, which he's built up over his career, and he's had a fantastic career, and it will only even get better. He's putting his reputation on the line. The investors are investing close to $5 million on me. You know, and it's obviously working with my co-star Tannishtha Chatterjee, Tan out of India. She's a brilliant actress, but there's a lot of pressure on a person doing their first film. So I was on the pump 100%, but I love that. I love the pressure. I love the chance to do new things. I could easily go down that really safe road of doing what I know and doing what I love, which is fine. But I've always thought jump in the deep and have a crack. Okay,
now, you might think sports writers can be critical and can be harsh, but you happen to be entering the film industry at a point where film criticism as a writing skill is probably at its worst and most venomous. So whatever criticisms you were likely to get at any normal time, if you do get bad crits, they're likely to be absolutely savage. Brett, are you prepared for this?
I am, and that's the thing. I've always said that when you choose a line of work, and look, I've dealt with criticism my whole life, as we said before, but like it doesn't deter me from trying something. I'm not one of those guys that go, well, I might get sledged here, or I might get criticised for doing something. Like, and that's fine. I think that makes you a better person too. It makes you work harder, makes you want to keep going forward. You know, without using too many cliches, but like I've played in front of 100,000 people. I've been in the crowds. I've walked past the pubs. I've heard it all before. It's a different genre, of course. It's a different style of work. But I'm sure there's going to be criticism come out. I'm sure that people will have a go. But as I said, the majority of comments we've had so far is it's been encouraging.
And we kind of over the years we develop a critic filter. So, without patronizing you, if someone like you or David Stratton or someone criticize the film, we sit up, take notice, take notes. But then for every one of you, you would agree with me, there are 100 out there who want to be you or who want to get the 20 minutes of fame. So that's where our critic filter comes in, where we filter them out. Okay. For me as a filmmaker, the dream would be to go, to travel on both roads. But irrespective of that, I think it is, it is very important as a film practitioner. There's two sides. There's a public figure and there's a film practitioner to take notes, and we all do that.
Now, Anu, I hope you don't mind, but Brett, I do want to just ask you some questions because I know who you are. I'm not a huge cricket fan.
Either am I.
Very, very... What do you mean?
I love how Jim just swung back with his chair there and nearly fell off. And
What do you mean?
I love playing cricket. I don't watch a lot of cricket. It's funny I say that because I work for Channel 9 and I do the commentary and I love it, but I've never watched a lot of cricket growing up. I don't have any sport on in my house. When my friends come over who love sport, there's no sport on. There'll be sport on maybe in the background, the TV in the corner, but I'm not watching it. You know, I don't watch a lot of sport because I'm so active. I'd probably call myself hyperactive or borderline hyperactive, I think.
You're very consciously managing your celebrity, aren't you?
I don't like that word. I do not think that... it doesn't sit well with me because I'm a guy from Mount Warrigal. I'm a person that, Mum and Dad have brought me up in a way that I respect people. I appreciate different cultures. I give it my best shot. The thing I've always, I guess, put my, stamp on life is that I would never want to do something that Mum and Dad see me on the front page of a paper or back page for the wrong reason. And I just say I'm a guy from 2 hours out of Sydney that happened to have some natural talent, which I've tried to use to the best of my ability. And I'm on a journey of life. I'm on stage 2 of my life, and I've had fun so far.
What humbles you?
Going to India, walking down the street of Sydney, seeing, we're not getting all teary-eyed and all that type of stuff, but to see people that have made, mistakes in life, or they've gone down the wrong road, or you see the homeless people. You know, I've got my charity through India. I can't keep taking from India, and I don't mean from a monetary sense. I mean from the richness I've got out of the country, that the people with the culture. I've been there close to 100 times, but I've got to put back in, which is why I've set up my music therapy foundation centres, and we're looking after 1,500 children. To me, that's what makes me feel good. There's a great line that giving is the most selfish thing in life because it makes you feel good, and it's true. When you cut a ribbon and you open up a centre, and the kids look at you, they don't care you've taken over 300 test wickets, and I wouldn't even have a clue like who my last. I don't like stats. I don't play the game for that reason. I play for the enjoyment, and if someone can enjoy me running in the bowl or doing a film, well then great. I
want you to tell me what's the most important thing to you now and the least important thing to you now.
The most important thing to me has always been family. Family come first. I speak to Mum and Dad every single day. Doesn't matter where I am in the world. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got a little boy who loves playing sport. To me, that's if you took cricket away or film away or whatever it is, and there's issues in life, whatever. I couldn't care less. I don't care about the small things that don't mean anything. Family is the most important thing, and it always has been.
Okay, now, Brett, this is the bit where I help you.
Okay.
Because I looked at your website, and it is a beautifully managed and very well maintained website.
But I haven't been on there for a while, but thank you.
Well, there are some things on there we need to improve. Okay, now, you say your motto in life is be happy and enjoy yourself. Brett, can we come up with something better than that?
Well, I can edit it today if you like. Smile more, be happier.
Yeah.
No, look, it's have fun in life. We could walk out the front here. You could collapse now. I could get hit by a bus. Hopefully not with an un-Indian panel around the side of it. That wouldn't be very cool. But life's too short. People whinge and they cry and they carry on about things that they're not happy about. Just get over it. I'm a doer. Have fun in life because you don't know how long it's going to last.
Now you say you're afraid of heights.
I am.
Everyone's afraid of heights, dude.
What level are we on here?
This is like level 7.
That's okay.
Okay, but give us a better answer. What actually scares you? What scares you?
What scares me is betting on a green top against Curtly Ambrose with no helmet on. That would scare me. What scares me is not having a crack in life. I keep saying the word crack, but having a go. What scares me is that getting to the age of 50 and thinking, I wish I did that. And I'm not going to live my life like that. With this, if I do one film and that's it, I'm happy. Of course I want to do it. It's like taking one test wicket. I'm happy, but I want to do more. So things scare me is the stuff I don't do, as opposed to jumping in with a shark or, as I said, batting with no helmet on.
Now, Brett, you might have built a reputation as one of the best, most respected, and well-liked people in the history of cricket.
I didn't write that.
No, I did.
Okay.
But, my friend, if you want to be taken seriously in this world, you need to name a better film than Happy Gilmore as one of your favourite movies.
Just tap it in.
We need to replace Happy Gilmore with something. Do you like film? Have you
do.
seen a lot? Do you want to see more? Do you have a particular interest?
I do. I love that slapstick comedy. And that's, you know, I can watch dramas. I can watch intense films. I can watch. I don't like all the sci-fis, all that type of stuff, but one that springs to mind, which I love, and I've seen a million times, Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
I think that the way it's shot, it's not an obvious movie. It's there's some underlying parts or plots of the movie that you can't really work out what's going on, but then there's a feel good, there's the characters that interact, and I don't know, they just seem like they get on. To me, it's about, when I've been watching film, it's what's on the aeroplane. You know, I spend 300 days away from home per year. There's a lot of downtime, there's a lot of whatever's on the TV, whether it's in India, so I'm, I guess, limited to what I've been able to watch, but I certainly will be opening up my eyes now.
Are you an Al Pacino fan?
I am.
What films of Al Pacino have you seen?
Son of a Woman.
Okay.
And I love how he can do that whole scene without blinking. That is one of the most incredible speeches when he gets at his cane, and there was a time, you know.